Only one interpretation per group, guys. You need more harmony.
And no changing your interpretations based on what you saw from the other groups.
Yeah. Close your eyes.
Like I said, I want to see what they say.
I want to learn.
For once in your lives.
This is going to be very hard for me to judge.
Yeah.
Hey guys, rotate it like a 45. I'm not moving.
Okay.
That was 135.
Solid A on the effort.
Yeah, I want to try it. So I come in, I'm thinking that I'm going to turn around this way and basically try to counterwind his wrist so that he can't lock his arm against me.
Okay, thank you. Go ahead and have a seat. Give me examples from group 2. Hey, group 3 and 4, figure it out right now. Okay?
Figure.
All right, thank you.
Go for it.
Let's see it, gents.
I'll be the one to do it.
Okay. So,
But I can get stuff.
come around into that one. It's kind of how we interpreted it.
All right, thank you for your demonstration, guys. Go ahead and have a seat. Group 3.
You come in with the stab, like remedy, comes around, breaks it. Stabs it in the chest.
Okay, thank you, group 3. Group 4.
Guess we weren't too unique.
There's only so many ways it can
We
go.
kind of thought basically the same thing, but I attack, get the blade up, and break the grip here, because at that point, it's just thumb, so I can get past and stab again.
Interesting. All right, go ahead and have a seat, guys. Thank you. I like your shirt too.
I had a quick
Love some
question.
Wind Waker. Yeah, dude.
So in HEMA, like, the way we interpret it was like you can get stabbed in that motion, like as they're rotating you around to break you. Is that what they use in HEMA, or is it more of like don't use the flow of someone's body kind of thing, if that makes sense?
So in HEMA, it's if you can deliver a lethal action.
Okay.
So if you're cutting, you need to have enough rotation and force in your cut. If you're thrusting, it just needs to be in line.
As long as it gets in. Okay.
Exactly.
Because for us, it was kind of like, does the rotate count, or does it have to be the person performing the action themselves? But yeah.
I mean, if Mariah has the dagger, however she wants it, and I grab it like this and I stab myself, I'm still pretty dead.
Okay.
Just exaggerating, but to demonstrate that point, there are very many. In fact, my fencing style, one of my favorite things to do is to follow force. So don't contest force, come behind it as long as that force isn't going to come in contact with me. It takes people longer to recognize.
I think kind of what I'm getting more at is the interpretation of it. It says like, I'll turn my dagger around your arm.
Mhm.
You know, and because of the counter, you won't be able to take the dagger from me, but with this turn, I'll drive my dagger into your chest for certain. I guess my question is, with the interpretation of that, is it saying that he's the one performing the action of driving the dagger in, or is it just the dagger's going to get driven into your chest regardless of how it
Okay,
gets there?
I see what you're asking.
If that makes
So-
better sense.
If I don't do anything, they're going to disarm me, right? Because that's the first remedy master. So I can manipulate the dagger so that they stab themselves, right?
And that would count as the I'll drive my dagger part?
Right.
Okay.
So this is one where you guys basically nailed it. I have 2 interpretations on this one. One is if it works and they go for that big wrench to the side, and I can lift my point just enough so as they bring it in, I can fight that force and plunge it right into the chest. Great, okay? The other way that you can do it, if they are lazy and they're not trying to wrench you around, is very close to what you guys did, but you guys gave them a little more time to act, where my interpretation tends to be a little more tight so that they have to respond to you, which is what makes it so that they can't. All right, so if Mariah catches, a lot of you guys were coming around all the way around like this and then turning and then trying to break the thumb, right, or bring it up. my favorite interpretation of this is I use the dagger only to break their grip on my hand. So I lift the point up, I turn it around, and I shuck. Go ahead and like actually grab my wrist there. I turn it around and I shuck the arm here so that it pops off, and then I couch and I move directly into the chest. So it's a disarm in the same way that if somebody grabs your wrist like this, you turn it around tight rather than, give them the round the world action, right? It's going to be tighter and it's going to put more force. So in this instance, since Mariah's with this grip, I'm going to move towards the weakness of the grip, which is the distance between the fingers and the thumb, the tips of the fingers and the tip of the thumb, right? So if I, go ahead and let's turn around. Even just with my thumb right now, if I were to push my thumb into Mariah's wrist, I'm already creating separation, right? So if I add a dagger to that, I'm coming around, I can wrench her hand off, and it seems like Mariah's just giving up. She's not. I'm using this to dig into her skin, and it doesn't feel very good, right? And so I pop that off, and in that motion, I come into the chest. It makes it very quick, very snappy, and it's very hard to defend against. The other ones, for instance, the reason I like that one the most is because even if Mariah tries to bring it around to my side, I'm not an idiot, okay? I can tell when a point is about to go into my body. I generally try to stop that from happening, okay? So if Mariah goes for that thrust, and I step in, she goes for that outside around and quick into the side, so the other one, not the break. So she just tries to redirect that into my side, I can get wise to that very quickly. And then it's a change from wrenching around to just posting, right? And then she can try and do other things, but from here I can break and move from, okay? So that's why I prefer making them break rather than trying to make their direction work for you. But I'm not saying that that's impossible. It happens all the time. The duplier in half of its applications is your opponent cutting themselves with your sword, right? And this would be your opponent stabbing himself with your dagger. You're just making sure that that point is in the right orientation, okay? Both is good, just like El Dorado. Okay, so any questions on that?
No, sir.
No, sir.
Does that kind of make sense?
Yes, sir.
Does it seem plausible?
Yes, sir.
Doable?
Yes, sir.
Good. Okay. One thing that I like to bring up every once in a while is, in a lot of cases, anything works. Blowing kisses, not so much. But like, why stab them with your dagger when you can kick in the side of their knee, right? Why even engage if you can just kick them super hard in the nuts, right? There are a lot of things that you can do. These books were written to kind of say these have higher accuracy and are safer than other things, other options like throwing rocks and sneezing. Though in the Middle Ages that might have been pretty effective. That's chemical warfare. Okay, biological warfare, thank you. Depends on what you eat, right? So, let's go now to the first student.
This is my
So
favorite.
let's review really quick, guys. What did we start off with? 3 words in a funny order. One of them was master. First remedy master, right? That is, we grab the wrist, we disarm them by bracing the blade against our arm and turning, okay?